organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up tonight on Daily Iowan TV, towing troubles in Iowa City. Find out what students have to say about parking problems. Up next.
And catcalls on campus. We'll tell you what the University of Iowa student government is doing to combat this problem.
Get caught up on the Iowa football team and sports.
We've got all that and more coming your way.
You're watching Daily Iowan TV.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Coble.
And I'm Katie Sextro. The University of Iowa may be getting more money. The president of the Iowa Board of Regents, Bruce Rassiter, said he will ask the Iowa legislature for another $4.5 million for funding next year. He said the additional funds are necessary to continue to offer quality education for UI students. The topic will be brought up at Wednesday's Board of Regents meeting.
As sorority recruitment comes to an end, catcalling is a topic on many university students' minds. I sat down Monday with the University of Iowa Student Government Vice President Morgan Britton to talk about verbal harassment on campus.
The University of Iowa Student Government is continuing its efforts to combat sexual assault on campus by stopping catcalling. Catcalling is defined as making a whistle, shout, or comment of sexual nature to a woman passing by. It's sexual misconduct that has taken place most recently during sorority recruitment. Future pledges travel across campus by bus and foot to visit the sorority houses, but they are interrupted by male students making catcalls. One student leader wants to make a difference by protecting not only sorority recruiters, but all University of Iowa students.
People just recognize that that's pretty wrong. You know, it is sexual harassment, and that it was probably a good idea for us to do something about it.
UISG is partnering with It's On Us, a campaign launched by President Obama and the White House to stop sexual assault on college campuses. The student government is also using marketing strategies across campus and the CAN bus to let students know that sexual assault is not okay.
It's important to create an environment of respect and inclusion, a place where every student feels safe.
But in order for sexual assault to be put to an end, students need to be aware.
Just the more and more people become aware, that's sort of our measure of success here, is like the more people that we see can say that catcalling is an issue, and but also that it's getting better. I think that's where we find success in this.
For more information about how you can prevent sexual assault and stop catcalling, you can visit the University of Iowa Student Government's Facebook page or itsonus.org.
Hundreds of University of Iowa women were greeted by their new sorority sisters at Panhellenic Bid Day Monday. Fall formal recruitment began last weekend on August 28th and ended Sunday evening with preference round. Over 1,000 women went through the recruitment process at the UI. The final step of the process, bid day, took place at Hubbard Park in the IMU Monday afternoon.
Registration for the Iowa River Cleanup has been extended to Tuesday, September 8th. Organizers are looking for at least 50 volunteers for the big event on Saturday. Volunteers will be using canoes and kayaks to float down the river and collect trash from the river and its banks. The event will kick off at 7:30 a.m. near South Riverside Drive in Iowa City. The cleanup is set to not only clean the river, but preserve and protect it for the future. If you would like to volunteer, you can visit the website below.
Iowa's lone Democrat in Congress endorsed Hillary Clinton for president on Sunday, joining former Governor Tom Vilsack and former Senator Tom Harkin. Representative Dave Loebsack, whose district includes Iowa City, gave his formal endorsement at a labor picnic in the Quad Cities Monday. Clinton returned to Iowa over the weekend.
Iowa City Police are looking into an armed robbery that happened at the Riverside McDonald's at 2:45 a.m. on Sunday. A male victim and female acquaintance were approached by two men. One of the suspects showed a handgun and ordered the two victims to get into their car. The suspects directed them to another neighborhood where they robbed the male victim. During the robbery, the female victim ran away, and the police are searching for her as part of the investigation. The male victim was not injured. In central and southern Iowa Monday morning, multiple roadways were underwater after flash flooding.
The National Weather Service issued flash flood warnings for Taylor, Ringgold, and parts of Audubon, Boone, Carroll, Dallas, and Guthrie counties.
Let's send it over to Andrew, who is standing by in the weather studio. Andrew, should we expect any flash floods coming our way?
Fortunately, the chance of flooding in the area is low. The river is currently 16.2 feet high with a flood stage of 22 feet. Additionally, it looks like the heat from last week will pass with this holiday weekend. Heading into tomorrow morning, we can expect a chance of rain throughout the morning with temperatures sitting in the 70s. As we look ahead to Tuesday afternoon, the rain shall continue with the temperature still sitting in that 70-degree mark. And as we head into the evening, we can expect a significantly lower chance of rain. Taking a look at the week ahead, Wednesday and Thursday should be your typical fall days with temps in the high 70s during the day and dropping down to the 50s at night. On Friday, the rain may make another appearance, so be prepared for that. Closing out the week, the weather should be nice for the annual Cy-Hawk Series. Well, ladies, that's all I have for you in the weather studio. Back to you at the desk.
With such a large number of vehicles in Iowa City, parking can be at premium. Reporter Brent Griffiths breaks down what you need to do to avoid being towed.
With classes underway, the crush of vehicles for students, faculty, and staff have returned to Iowa City. But if you want to avoid having to fork over some dough, it pays to pay attention to where you park. If you use a city lot or space, the city, in most cases, is required to give you notice before towing your vehicle.
The city will put a sticker on the car. If it's on the street, it's 72 hours notice, warning you that your vehicle is parked illegally or has been abandoned and will be towed in 72 hours.
At Student Legal Services, Malloy consults with students who have concerns over anything from leases to citations and even parking.
While a number of students park on campus, officials with Student Legal Services say the number of questions they get are greater for students who live in private housing off campus.
If you do come back and find someone else in your spot, Malloy says you're well within your rights to call a towing company.
You have a spot that's reserved for you and there's another vehicle that doesn't belong to you there. That student themselves has the option of calling the towing company and having the vehicle towed.
Reporting from Iowa City, I'm Brent Griffiths, Daily Iowa TV.
If you're a student and you feel that your vehicle was unfairly towed, contact Student Legal Services at 319-335-3276.
15-year-old Aaron Richardson was shot and killed Sunday night in Richmond Park in Cedar Rapids. After stumbling home with his wounds, Richardson was driven to the hospital around 10:30 p.m. where he died. Investigators believe the shooting was not random and that Richardson was targeted. Police were at the scene Monday collecting evidence. They have yet to identify any potential suspects in the case.
On Sunday, a cheetah on loan from the San Diego Zoo Safari Park escaped from the Indianapolis Zoo. The 4-year-old male named Pounce was found within the hour. His trainer shot him with a tranquilizer dart and he was unconscious within 3 minutes. During Pounce's escape, zoo patrons were escorted to safe zones, but a spokeswoman said that no one was ever in danger. This is not the zoo's first escape artist. In 2014, 2 orangutans escaped, as well as a wallaroo in 1994. The cheetah exhibit will remain closed until the zoo is sure that they will not be able to escape again.
So Megan, the game was pretty great Saturday. Did you go?
Absolutely, Katie. I had a lot of fun, but it sure was hot.
Definitely.
Let's toss it over to Katie Reber, who's standing by in the sports studio.
Yes, Megan and Katie, what a fun day it was at Kinnick Stadium on Saturday, and many fans bared the heat to see the Hawks' first home game. With the Labor Day holiday, our full coverage of Iowa football was pushed back to today, but don't worry, our football reporters are on top of how Iowa's win against Illinois State on Saturday went down. We start with Ian Murphy, who has all the highlights from inside Kinnick Stadium.
The defense stole the show on Saturday's opener, limiting Illinois State to just 14 points and 35 yards on the ground. Let's go to the highlights.
A hot and humid day would not keep the Hawkeyes down in this one, as they scored early and often in the rout of Illinois State. CJ Beathard converted a 4th and 2 pass to Tavon Smith over the middle, eventually setting up the Hawkeyes' first touchdown of the game. 2 plays later, Beathard took the ball up the middle on a quarterback draw from 6 yards out to put the Hawkeyes up 7-0, a lead that they would not give up the rest of the game. Jordan Canzeri then joined in the fun, scoring from 6 yards out to put the Hawkeyes up 14-0 early in the second quarter. However, the second quarter would belong to Iowa defensive end Drew Ott, who terrorized the Illinois State offensive line. Ott tallied both of his sacks in the second quarter and added 3 other tackles on the game. Not to be outdone, fellow defensive end Nate Meyer added a sack of his own as well as 6 tackles. The dynamic defensive end duo totaled 3 of Iowa's 5 sacks on the day. Greg Maben provided a highlight tape for the secondary, however, flattening Illinois State's Marshawn Coprich in the second quarter. The second half followed a similar script to the first as the Hawkeyes again came out firing. CJ Beathard connected with Matt Vandenberg to score another touchdown to put the Hawkeyes up 24-0. And a drive later, Beathard dove in for a quarterback sneak to give the Hawkeyes a 31-0 lead. Illinois State would score twice. Score Iowa 31, Illinois State 14. For Daily Iowan TV Sports, I'm Ian Murphy.
After seeing what Iowa was able to produce on Saturday, there was one position that couldn't be stopped by Illinois State's defense. Football reporter Taylor Brooks tells us what they were able to do.
Going into Iowa's first game, there was a sense of uncertainty about the new changes in the offense. A new starting quarterback, a young offensive line, but the offense stayed steady, especially the dynamic duo of running backs LaShawn Daniels Jr. and Jordan Canzeri. Not many people would have guessed that Saturday was LaShawn Daniels Jr.'s first career start. The 26 carries that Daniels tacked on was a career high, making the beginning of this season looking very promising for the future.
When we're able to run the ball successfully, it just helps our offense as a whole.
But it wasn't just Daniels that was making moves. His sidekick, Jordan Canzeri, finished with 28 rushing yards, combining the two's yardage at 181, making these two unstoppable.
We've just really been pleased with both LaShawn and Jordan Canzeri. What we've seen them do, the way they've practiced in spring practice this camp. I'm very hopeful. I think they complement each other well and hopeful that we can just keep building on that.
Something else Canzeri was able to do aside from the run game was the pass game. The 90 receiving yards the senior had was a career best, and the 51-yard reception was another career best as well.
Just wanted to be where I was supposed to. Just if I was going to be there, CJ knew it. And, just got to focus on that catch first. You don't, especially a play like that, I'm not even worried about who's there, who's about to smack me.
The two couldn't have done it without the help of the offensive line and the wide receivers. Their block game was something that kept the pace of this game going.
The offensive line did an excellent job, and the receivers blocking on the outside did an excellent job. I really just think that helped build some momentum for our offense.
The things that we harp on and emphasize, blocking downfield, finishing runs, finishing blocks, finishing plays, and that's just what we really emphasized in the offseason during camp, and we did a great job, and we see it on the game. It's obviously amazing.
The two running backs plus the offense seemed to have built some type of chemistry that they had been working for all offseason, and that definitely showed on Saturday. Inside Kinnick Stadium, I'm Taylor Brooks for Daily Iowan TV Sports.
We continue our full coverage of Iowa's surge past Illinois State on Tuesday's edition of Daily Iowan TV Sports, where Laura Bulanda takes us through how Iowa's brand new quarterback did. The Iowa volleyball team is in the Aloha State for the Hawaiian Airlines Wahine Volleyball Classic, where they defeated American 3-1 on Sunday. The Hawkeyes now move to 3-3 on the season and picked up their first win of the tournament. That's all we have time for today. Megan and Katie, back to you.
Before we leave you tonight, the pumpkin spice latte is officially back at Starbucks, and this year with a new recipe.
The coffee chain has taken out some of the drink's artificial flavors and added real pumpkin to the recipe.
Katie, if it wasn't so hot today, I would definitely be picking up a cup myself.
Yeah, same. That sounds really good.
That's all we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to check us out online on YouTube and on social media.
Thanks for watching. From us to you.
Go Hawks and good night.